one of the things that I love about healthcare, and more importantly, the fusion of healthcare and technology is it's always interesting when Silicon Valley enters the mix, and they've got what I think and what you think is probably one of the biggest bets in healthcare right now. Simon, what can you tell us about Silicon Valley's latest big bet in healthcare?
Oh my gosh. Well, Shannon, this is just such an exciting time to be in the healthcare industry, as you know better than anyone. I mean, people maybe sometimes think of healthcare as this slow-moving dinosaur industry that hasn't really progressed in decades, but that's really not the case. This is an incredible time to be an investor in the healthcare industry because things are moving so quickly. What you're referring to as far as Silicon Valley's interest is largely in the space of genomics, specifically in cancer treatment, because we're in a day and age now that you're actually able to see a patient at a genetic level. We're able to see a patient's DNA. And of course, DNA is the building blocks of what makes us unique as an individual. And so when you're able to see more and more information about a patient, you can also personalize those treatment options that you have. And as a doctor, that just provides much better outcomes. It's going to be a very, very good time, not only to be in the healthcare industry, but also to be an investor in healthcare.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you take the innovative approaches in healthcare, and then you marry that with some of these huge, high unmet need areas, and I mean, there's no hotter space right now in healthcare than oncology and cancer. According to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second leading cause of death globally and is responsible for an estimated 9.6 million deaths in this year so far. And I mean, that's, of course, one aspect. There's also, too, just the economic impact of cancer as well. They also reported in 2010, actually, it was estimated the U.S. healthcare spend was actually 1.16 trillion US dollars. So, Simon, diving into this space is super exciting, not just for patients, but also from an economic perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Shannon, you nailed it that kind of the first part of this was more academic, right? For 20 years, it was trying to figure out the correlations between specific genes and then diseases or conditions that would arise from this blueprint that is each individual. And that was all pretty interesting. They've now identified more than 2,000 different hereditary traits. Some of those are, our height or our hair color, but some are other things too, like insomnia and other, certain behavioral conditions. Of course, the most valuable and interesting for the medical community, as you mentioned, is cancer and treating oncology, this field of people that have very serious conditions. The reason that it's so interesting for everyone right now is because cancer is not just uniform in how you approach it. For example, one of the most diagnosed cancers in the United States is lung cancer. There's more than 200,000 conditions that are diagnosed for lung cancer every year in the US alone. And it's skewed that even though the overall survival rate after 5 years for lung cancer is only 17%, so this is a very serious cancer, if you catch it at stage 4, which is the latest stage for cancer, like a lung cancer, that's only a 5% survival rate. But if you can catch it at stage 1, you have greater than a 70% survival rate. And so for oncologists, the goal is not only to understand and correlate these academic purposes that we've looked at the genome for 20 years, but now that it's getting into the scientific community, how can we actually treat these patients in a personalized manner and catch it earlier on so that we can have a much better patient outcome and a higher survival rate from the most serious of conditions?